Welcome to the Carousel, where we discuss video games, movies, sometimes comic books, and whatever awful things that come to mind. I am John MusiM. With me, I have Randy.
Hello, John. I'm Randy.
And I have Jake.
Hey, so I've been playing. I might have brought this up. I re-downloaded WoW and paid for a month, and then immediately canceled my subscription. And they're like, "Well, why did you cancel your subscription?" They always want a reason. They were like, all your options are, "Oh, I like the game too much," or "I'm coming back later." And I just put in like, I want to be the one who controls when you get paid, not you.
There used to be a text box where you could write a custom one.
And that's what I put in there.
Awesome.
So anyway, I started a goblin because I wanted to. I never saw their intro story. And they're on this island, and the island blows up and whatever. But one of the quests gives you this. I forget what they call it, but they can make this soft drink that gives them brilliant ideas, and that's how they became these great inventors. And like the rocks grow on this island and stuff. So you get a couple of these things throughout the course of the sort of the before you leave the island. And you drink it, and then your character shouts goofy invention names like, squeezable rocks or gloves with hands on them so they can clap themselves. But then you'll hit it, and he'll just go, "I got it! State-sponsored healthcare!"
Oh, jeez.
Made me laugh.
Getting topical. Do they really have states as we think of them in Azeroth?
Oh, yeah, dude. Stormwind?
No, they got like
Orgrimmar?
kingdoms. They don't really have a modern state.
Well, a state in a broad term is just a nation, so...
They have like city-states and hinterlands.
I mean, it's kind of a fiefdom system, right?
And who needs healthcare when you got like shamans and shit, know?
I'm granted, you could argue that the inevitable end of a private sector prison is some form of fiefdom, right? But
wow, that was a jump. Here I am cracking jokes about fucking noggin fogger. Like a fucking private state, paying people to have prisons.
Let's bring it to reality in
I know.
The System of a Down.
They're trying to build a prison.
Yeah, that's the song. There you go.
Well, it's just called Prison Song, but that's the thing he screams over and over in
Yeah.
the chorus.
We're like Azeroth, am I right?
The intelligent, incredibly philosophic depth of System of a Down,
Oh, yeah. They're deep, don't you know? I do love System, but
yeah, they're pretty
people
great.
think they're not as deep as people think. All right.
Yeah.
What do we got coming out, Randy?
Okay, that was the intro. We're already done. All right, cool. Games coming up September 19th. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on the PC, PS4, and Xbone. Anybody excited about that?
It looks pretty.
I've played a couple of them. 2D fighters have never really been my jam.
I like the idea of them, but then I don't really like playing them.
The idea is fun.
Like, granted, I remember back in the day, like, everything was kind of either Ryu's Fireball or reverse Ryu's Fireball, like, for all the moves, it seemed like to me. And I didn't really get why everyone loved it so much, but...
Well, it's the characters, the moves, and whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you just said moves were stupid.
That's what it was. It was that you got to, I don't think a lot of people really did too many of the Street Fighter characters. People played those to be X-Men. None of whom will be in the new release. So there's that.
Okay, so Bachmono wrote in chat, my vote for title, Azeroth. Am I right? I mean, that's pretty good. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, Bachmono.
It's going in the list. So there's two things in this one that kind of stand out. One is that they're really kind of doubling down with the movie characters. Your Iron Man, your Avengers, that kind of stuff. So you're not going to see any mutants. Because I think those are all maybe licensed out to somebody else. Maybe Fox still has all those.
Because video game rights and movie rights are probably separate, huh?
Well, they're separate, and Marvel would rather use this game to market their own characters that they're making movies out of than Fox's. So almost anyone you're going to want to play as won't be in it. And then this is the first time they're doing an actual story.
I think people would want to play.
Boy, does it look awful.
Yeah.
I think people will want to play as Cap and others.
That's true.
they're fine, but no Wolverine. That's a big loss. No Psylocke. She's been around. Rogue or Phoenix, I mean. No Cyclops.
People enjoyed Psylocke for a very specific reason.
The
great
game
art.
I would like to see them re-release is that X-Men Alpha. Is it X-Men Alpha? Was that the one where it was the kind of cartoony look that released for like Sega Saturn or some shit back in the day? And it was kind of the...
Gosh.
That was Children of the Atom.
that was it. Yeah.
Taking that way back. Is that the one they had in the arcade? Just ported to Saturn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was a good-looking game. And that eventually became...
Iceman.
Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm just saying, like, I would like that. If I could find a copy of that for Sega Saturn for not $100, I would be very happy.
Yeah, there's not enough really cool kick-ass platform games. Okay.
Anyway, it's the story is going to be just god-awful. They're actually trying to justify, a la, like, not Marvel versus DC versus Mortal Kombat. They're trying to actually justify why these two worlds are mashing together. From what I've seen, it looks so bad.
Of course it's stupid. I mean, come on.
Well, it's just so funny that they're Capcom's so into story now, and they're like, we're going to put story in our fighting games, and then they release Street Fighter V, and they're like, there's no story in it yet. Sorry.
I'm
and then the stories were all dumb, and now there's this, and it's like, yeah.
They got to get that single-player dollar, you know?
Yeah.
Well, then put some work into it and hire. Yeah, just hire. I'm sure they'll do it. Hire NetherRealm. There's nothing wrong with just ripping off what they do and taking an intertwining story and just making a 3.5-hour story where you play 2 fights as every character or something.
Truth be told, if they released a Street Fighter game that had a storyline in it that worked mechanically like fucking Mortal Kombat did, I would probably pick that up.
Yeah, that would be great.
Like,
it's never going to happen.
Street Fighter lore is incredibly dumb, and I kind of love it.
There's all the... Aren't there multiple animes?
Yeah, I have actually watched most of the animes. Like Street Fighter V. I mean, there's really only one joke with
Others?
that name. Well, I mean, there's Street Fighter V, and there's that Street Fighter movie that had, like, the American soundtrack had KMFDM in it. Like, they changed the soundtrack for... like, it's different in Japan, like whatever it was. But
oh, you mean KMFDM isn't super popular in Japan?
I know. Who would have thought?
Oh, imagine that.
Japan likes to go heavy. It's popular over there.
Yeah, but it's all baby metal from Korea.
They probably do like KMFDM, though. But, I mean, at the same time, they're not going to be as big as the local Japanese metal bands and such.
Sure. With their spiky hairdos. Okay, up next on the 29th, FIFA 18 on everything, even PS3 and 360.
Yep. I feel like that's a known quantity. I don't know that we need to say anything else.
Do we need to
about
expand upon FIFA? I don't. It's probably like the other sports games where you're just paying $60 for a roster update, sort of thing.
Yeah, I was reading something that PES, was it Pro Evolution Soccer? I think is sort of their competitor. Although, it's like the Bears and the Packers. It's not actually a rivalry because one is insanely better than the other. FIFA sells way, way better than PES, but it's my understanding that PES is got a pretty good upgrade this year. I don't know anything about FIFA because I don't watch that piece of Microsoft's E3 coverage.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's it.
You guys aren't talking about balls. Can you move on to anything else?
Yeah, how about Cuphead coming out on the Xbox One?
Cups and balls.
This is I was just talking about platformers. This looks like a fun platformer with sort of a 80s cartoon golden age sort of
80s?
art style. Sorry, I meant to say 30s.
Yeah.
Not 80s. 30s. My bad.
I don't know that it's going to be a platformer in the sense that you're thinking of. To me, I mean, everything I've seen makes me think this is sort of a boss rush in between, sort of like basically a boss rush, but you move in between them as sort of auto-scrolling levels is what it looks like to me. Have you guys seen anything else that makes you think you're ever stationary when you're not fighting a boss?
Well, I mean, you know the history of the game, right? It started out as just a series of boss fights that you were going to play through. And then when the developers realized their idea was so popular, like the art style and all that, they were like, oh shit, we better actually make this like have levels and shit in it. So they went back and added them.
Oh, okay.
And I've been doing that for the last couple of years. So I have no idea if it'll be any good. I think, if nothing else, at least visually, it'll be, up there with Banner Saga and what was that Fox Metroidvania game?
No, it wasn't foxes. It was just furries. But I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, like whatever that
something
one was.
something in the Children of Light. Oni. Was it
No,
Oni or Ori
no.
in the Blind Forest?
Okay, I was not talking about Ori and the Blind Forest, but we can throw it in there. But no, it was there's a fox with like one of those straw hat things that they have in Japan or China. That was like a samurai guy.
Wow, I have no idea what you're talking about here.
It has really good animation in it, whatever it is.
You're off the reservation.
I own it, but I don't remember the name of it. It was actually kind of a dark storyline too. But anyway, it has really good quality animation. I suspect no one is going to like the gameplay. I am open to being wrong, but
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Cuphead. In fact, I went to 3 separate sites, including the developer site, to make sure that date was right. Because I haven't really heard anything about it. I mean, aside from the last 2-3 years that I've been seeing it going, holy shit, I want to play that. So I was really excited that it is, in fact, coming out 2 weeks from tomorrow.
That's a pretty long development cycle.
well, again, they were pretty much done with the game and then realized, oh shit, this isn't going to be what everyone thinks it's going to be, and they're going to hate us. So, but it looks kind of like a bullet hell shooter, to be honest with you.
Those boss fights look real tough. And it's only local multiplayer, which I'm a little bummed about.
I mean, a good platformer is really hard, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of bullet hell in that stuff.
So,
Are you thinking of Armello?
yeah, I saw Bachmano post that. I don't think I am. I actually have never heard of Armello, and I'm Googling that right now. Oh,
I don't know that it's a good idea to put fox in straw hat into Google. You're going to get a lot of deviant art sites.
I don't. I'm tempted to open it. I'm pretty sure I own it through Steam.
That seems like a horrible idea to open while you're streaming.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I'm not doing that.
All right. So, Cuphead. I don't have an Xbox One, so I won't be getting it.
Oh.
That's a day one for me.
All right. Also on the 29th, Forza Motorsport 7 on the Xbox One also.
I was going through my free games with gold. I think Forza 5 is good either till tomorrow or it's good all month. I hate how Microsoft splits those dates up. Very, very beautiful, very polished car porn, simulation racing game.
Yeah.
It seems like the best in class at what it does, and I have no interest in continuing to play it because I'm not in racing games to be simulating stuff. I'm in them to be driving boats into giant statues and things blowing up.
There are racing games I like, but none of the Sims are among them.
The game I was thinking of is called Dust and Elysian Tale.
Oh, that's Ori and the Blind Forest is not the furry one. That's Dust is the one with the furries. Sorry.
I mean, you're still a weird, like, anthropomorphic animal thing in Ori and the Blind Forest, but you're more anthropomorphic in Dust.
It looks like they almost tried to draw it sexier in Dust.
Why do people got to try to sex up their animals? Never.
Why do people got to try and sex up their animals?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Well, yeah, come on. We've all seen it.
Well, it was in Wayne's World, when Garth was saying he got a boner when Bugs Bunny dressed up as a lady.
Well, that's just good humor.
We've all
And
done
also, yeah, well, they didn't show it either. Anyway, he wasn't sexed up. He was just dressed like a lady. You know what I mean?
Why you gotta objectify rabbits, dude?
He wasn't like
let him dress how he
behind him,
wants.
With his tail up.
Yeah, that's his power. Let him have that. That's him.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, we're all very excited for Forza Motorsport 7, if you can't tell. Okay, movies coming up September 22nd. Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
I
saw the trailer before it, and I really got to go back and watch that first one because this shit looks rad.
Yeah, it looks good. Good cast.
I love that first movie. I'm in for the second one. I don't. It's probably not an opening night, but it is an opening weekend thing for me. So.
Yep. So that's next Friday. Then Friday
This was
after that.
Yeah, this was another trailer that was before it too.
Oh yeah, I saw the first trailer for this months and months ago. Flatliners is a remake, not a long lost sequel.
Oh, it's not the Kevin Bacon movie?
Yeah. Well, because they what was it? They did one. The Blade Runner is actually like a super delayed sequel, right? But this is a remake.
Yes.
So anyway,
did any of you guys? It sounds like you're super jazzed until you found out it wasn't Kevin Bacon. Did you see the first one, John? What is it about?
Well, I mean, it's a group of people who get high by killing themselves. Like,
yeah.
they basically medically kill themselves for a few seconds and then wake up. And it's the problem with,
it gives them powers or some shit.
like, the problem is there's this section of Kevin Bacon movies that all kind of bleed together in my head, so I know I get them mixed up. But I think this is the one where they kill themselves and then they come back to life and then they start seeing shit in real life. And it turns out to be people they've wronged from their past and they have to go apologize so that the visions don't kill them. But I could be wrong. I might be getting my Kevin Bacon shit mixed up.
And then he
this
turns,
trailer,
he turns invisible, has a dance off.
He does not turn invisible. He might have a dance off. He at least kills a giant thing in the ground. Oh, no, he doesn't.
With an RC car with a bunch of dynamite strapped to it.
The impression I got was that they die and they go somewhere and they get mental powers and then they come back and...
The original movie, they don't get powers.
There's a cost. It seems like, oh, I died and I came back and now I can speak Japanese or play piano or something.
Maybe so.
I don't know, but Bakemono seems to think John's right on this one.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's right about the old one. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah. And this, I remember because Kevin Bacon evidently was a racist child and had to go apologize to a black lady. Like, I remember that being a thing that happened in it. Like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was an okay movie. I still don't know why they're remaking it, but...
Because they're remaking everything from the 25 to 30 years ago. They're just
I was getting
all of
pissed.
it over again.
Oh, yeah,
I got kind of pissed when I saw that. And I was like, God damn, they're remaking everything. You know, we're 25 minutes into these trailers here, and half of these have been remakes. I paid to see it, and oh, fuck.
Right.
I'm there to see the fucking remake. I guess I can't really be mad.
I don't know that doesn't seem like a remake as much as just another adaptation. Like, they aren't remaking the miniseries. There never was a theatrical release of it. So I feel like
all right, that's letter of the law, but okay.
I mean, remakes,
it would hold up in court.
Remakes are really just about like creating brand and talk, right? Like, because if you grab a property that already exists, then you immediately have people discussing, trying to figure out if it is a remake or not, and generating buzz. Like, it's a...
You're gonna have a certain number of opening weekend seats of people that are just gonna go see it because they loved the original. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. Like, movies these days are such an investment, which is part of the reason you don't see much original IP anymore in Hollywood releases.
Like, even though you're kind of agreeing with me, I'm gonna still disagree with you slightly in that. I don't think there's anyone who loved the original Flatliners. Like, I think there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, no, that was an okay movie. Like, I think that's the most you get. I don't think anyone's like fucking dressing up like these assholes or like, man, we should try and kill ourselves and bring ourselves back. Like it's not like The Crow where you have like kids putting on fucking eyeliner, you know?
Plus, it's kind of an unfair criticism. Hollywood's been adapting novels and plays and television shows forever.
Yeah.
So that's not really that fair of a criticism.
But anyway, I'm sorry.
All right, Flatliners. Okay. TV coming up on the PBS. I know all you guys are watching PBS. The Vietnam War with the Ken Burns treatment. So that ought to be good. I'm working my way through the Civil War one right now. It's on Netflix.
So is the World War II one, I believe.
I think you're right.
And
baseball.
And baseball, yep.
Guys, pause it, rewind. Who's Ken Burns? What is this about? Like, give me some... I mean, obviously it's about Vietnam. But, like, what makes this special enough for us to mention it on our podcast?
Ken Burns is just an excellent documentarian.
Yeah, if you ever seen... I'm sure There are just plenty. You have to have seen an episode of some comedy show where they parodied the, whole reading the letter slowly, like, "Dearest Wilma, we made camp last night," while the, piano plays softly in the background.
Over a still photo.
Or it's a still photo that they're kind of panning across or something.
Right. Yep.
That's Ken Burns' style. And it's, for as long as it's...
Heads.
Yeah, for as long as it's been around and has been made fun of so many times, you would think it would be stale and hokey, but it just works. The dude is just a great filmmaker.
Yeah. There's a lot of this, so like there'll be battle sounds. There'll be like 2 minutes of this where he's just panning across a photo, or even not even a photo, like a painting of a Civil War battle, and there's just battle sounds going on in the background. And every now and then
that's the other thing.
Narration cut over it, like, I don't know, it just works. It sounds super dumb, but it works.
When the man takes his time with these things, I'm not sure any of these documentaries have been less than 13 hours.
Well, and even his Civil War one has Jeremy Irons in it. It's got Morgan Freeman in it.
Doing narration, you mean?
Yeah. And this is, like, right off the bat, this is before he was even, a known quantity, right? He was able to secure these types of people. So, there's others that I can't remember, but those were the two that stick out in my mind. They're narrating, historical figures that he kind of follows through the war. Anyway, that's one example. I'm sure the others are very similar.
They're super good.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it'll be good. And then September 20th, I suppose that is the season premiere of The Good Place, which is a sitcom about people in heaven.
Yeah, it was one of my things last week, so we spent some time on it. I've now finished it. It's real good. There's a pretty cool twist in there, so this might be something that I actually tune into, unless of course it's Sunday night. That might be something I tune into while it's actually on the TV and watch commercials and stuff. That's how much I like that show.
Like it's 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else to add?
That's it.
All right. Jerry Before Seinfeld comes out on Netflix soon, the 19th.
You guys have seen ads for this that pop up super intrusively, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah. When you're scrolling down your Netflix... not the queue, but like just looking for something.
Right. I thought episodes of Seinfeld were funny at the time. I have not seen them since. I have always thought Jerry Seinfeld was terrible at stand-up. But I
prefer his stand-up to his show.
Well, and I'm curious about the documentary of it. I remember I haven't seen it.
That's not a documentary, man.
It's just a stand-up.
It's a stand-up, and I think he's mostly telling stories about when he was a kid.
Okay.
Or maybe there's footage from when he was a kid or something like that.
I mean,
it's totally
kind of
stand-up.
Interested in, but like when he was on Louis, like I thought all of his material that he told was terrible. Like,
I'm the other way. I think his stand-up's really good, but this is going to get me some hate. I think the show Seinfeld was not as great as everyone says.
There are people I work with who still quote that show.
It's not terrible by any means. It's just it's not the greatest thing that ever got made.
It was great at the time because it was super original and it was clever and it had Larry David. It's really hard to screw something up if you have Larry David. But yeah, I've never especially been a huge fan of that show or Jerry Seinfeld's comedy. Don't get me wrong, he seems like a really nice, funny, genuine guy. Like, he seems like an awesome dude. I don't like shitting on him. I've just never thought he was...
We all know you're not bagging on Jerry Seinfeld personally. Although this is the internet, and if you don't like something somebody does, you automatically hate them.
So something big that we kind of missed on our list that Bakamano pointed out. I'm going to stop reading your stuff in the chat, Jeff. No. But Star Trek Discovery comes out the 24th. I forgot about that.
I saw that. I didn't think anyone would care about it, so I left it off.
Oh, yeah,
I haven't even... I'm a Trek fan. I haven't even heard of that. Is that a new series?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know a ton about it. I've seen some people talking about it on my Facebook feed, but I don't want to say anything about it because I will get it wrong because I don't know. I think
there hasn't been a successful Trek series since Voyager 20 years ago.
The Orwell just came out last week, so...
Man.
The Orville?
The Orville. I called it the Orwell.
I don't know. Maybe isn't this on a streaming service or some shit like that? Didn't I hear that?
Netflix. Oh no, sorry. I don't know.
Well, you guys aren't.
If it's CBS or NBC, I wouldn't be surprised if they all tried starting their own streaming networks.
I thought CBS did have theirs.
Yeah, CBS.com, stream our shit.
They've got their own. I thought.
Well,
I thought they were all going through Hulu these days. Doesn't Fox?
Some do and some don't. Like that's how they started going through there initially, so they could get their foot in the streaming game, and now they all want to get their own platform.
I mean, I don't know anybody who wouldn't love to pay $15 to dozens of companies.
Dude, 10 years ago when it first came out, man, Hulu was free. That shit was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that used to be real good.
Then they fudged it up. What am I looking for?
So you about found this thing, John?
Yeah, man, we got dead air here.
I'm trying. I thought you guys would keep going.
We did for a while.
Well,
how much time do you need, man?
Let's move on to the last thing.
Right,
Yeah,
September 29, Gerald's Game, coming out on Netflix.
So this was apparently Stephen King, ran out of money or something, because between it and Dark Tower, and now Netflix is doing this movie adaptation of Gerald's Game. Did you guys ever read the book?
I hope King got up front on Dark Tower, because those residuals are not going to be good. I haven't.
This is a book about a woman and her husband, and she's not happy with their marriage, and I'm gonna get some of these details wrong because I read this 15 years ago, but they go up to their lake house, and he decides that he wants to try doing S&M stuff, and he wants to handcuff her to the bed. And she's not super into it, but she agrees. I don't remember why, trying to save their marriage, or maybe just I don't remember. And he gets kind of rapey, and then she kills him. And now she's handcuffed to this bed with this big fat dead husband on top of her.
How'd she kill him with her hands cuffed?
I think she kicks him in the balls, and he has a heart attack. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no. He goes and lands on the floor because at some point a wild dog breaks into the house and eats most of him.
What?
But she's handcuffed to this bed for days or a week or something like that because it's out in the middle of nowhere in this lake. But and it's all her internal monologue of how she met her husband and so her earlier life and that stuff, intermixed with her being stuck on this bed and trying to figure out how to get off and not get released from the bed.
How to find release?
Fuck. She does eventually get out, so the story is a happy ending. I don't know how
she does eventually get off. Is how you should have phrased that, but okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super fucked up though. She kind of peels her hands off. Anyway, so I'm interested to see what they'll do with that because that was a short book to start with, and most of it didn't happen in the present. So I guess we'll see.
King's probably just trying to make as much money as he can before he checks out in 10 years. So.
Or they had a lottery about, I'm going to release all my IP. You can bid whatever you want, and everyone got in. They were like, "We'll do it. We'll do Dark Tower."
Exactly.
Fuck. What's left? Well, it's either this or sell. So I guess I'll go with Gerald's Game. Fine. Fuck it. Here's $30.
Right. I mean, that's the way it goes. He doesn't have much time left.
He made so many shit movies in the '80s. I mean, come on.
Well, he didn't make them.
Well, yeah, but okay. So Star Trek Discovery is CBS All Access. And Netflix will also air the show within 24 hours of it airing on CBS All Access.
Okay.
All right, well.
Which means there's a possibility I could watch it. If it's on Netflix.
We've gotten so used to binging stuff. I mean, didn't Netflix used to... They never worked that way, right? They weren't pulling stuff that recent.
No. That's
so they've never really... Yeah, they've never really released stuff one show at a time, so that'll be interesting to see what people think about that.
But to be clear, I don't think it's actually airing on CBS. I think you have to be a CBS All Access member and only watch it digitally.
That cannot be true.
I'm nearly 100% positive that's true, because that was the original thing I heard about the series, was it was going to be a digital-only series.
That's very, very strange.
I mean,
you know what? That makes
crazy,
sense. They want to get in the game. People are seeing that Netflix has a lot of success with this digital-only distribution, and they're like, all right. They're going to get into that, man.
Okay.
I wonder if they have to keep broadcasting over the air, like if that's some legal thing that they have to do.
Well, I know that they have to secure, the frequency.
Yeah, they
They
lease
have to
the
pay
bandwidth from
right,
the government.
from the FCC.
Because
Now, I
the
don't know how
FCC
long
owns
those.
electromagnetism.
Hey, you get in early. You can make your money off of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long those agreements are. I mean, you're never going to see CBS just stop broadcasting stuff.
You will eventually, boy. It'll happen.
Okay, probably not in our lifetimes.
I don't know about that, man.
Eventually, the sun's going to burn out, yeah.
Eventually, we'll all be engulfed in a red sun, and there will be a heat death of a universe. And at
Exactly.
that point, you will
CBS
not be
will
able to
stop.
watch
Right.
the Big Bang,
That
which is
stuff will
ironic.
still be... No, those
Look.
rays will still be bouncing around. That's the
Look,
thing.
I got $5 in that in the next 20 years that cable companies will be 90% either out of business or entirely digital.
Well, in terms of providing programming, it's all going to be data, right? It's all going to be your internet and stuff.
Well, and I'm
That's
not
all
trying
they
to
do.
play some word game. I'm saying you're not. The only
You're saying there will
way
be no more
you are
broadcasts.
going to get your programming through a coaxial cable is if it enters into a fucking modem, and then
Right,
you have
yeah.
a subscription to some service like Netflix or Amazon or Hulu.
Oh, yeah. And what's going to suck is you're going to have to pay for each one of these, and maybe it's only $5 to $10 a piece, but eventually you're going to be paying what you would have been paying for a fucking cable bill.
Well, and it's already kind of starting that way, but I think the angle is go Amazon, and then Amazon makes it really easy to start and stop those channel subscriptions. Like I started Cinemax, I canceled it. Like it is literally 2 button clicks. Like you don't have to go
Yeah.
through a, why did you quit? Why are you leaving? Please come back. Like
Are you
bullshit.
sure?
Yeah.
What about this show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
None
Did
of
you
that
like it
bullshit.
too much? Was that the problem?
You won't get to see the new track. I had forgotten all about that canceling WoW, and they're like, why are you leaving? Yeah.
And they put. I don't think they still do it. They used to put up a picture of a peon, like from the orcs, one of their peons with a big tear in his eye, going, "Why are you leaving me?" It's like, you fucking like, and it's funny, but it's like you fucking dicks. Like you take that point to remind me how endearing some of this stuff is. Fuck you. Ah.
Yep.
So that's all our releases. I'm just briefly going to talk about Nintendo Direct. There was really only one thing. I didn't watch too much of it. I watched about 20 minutes, and the thing that really jumped out to me was Octopath Traveler, which looks like a turn-based RPG with kind of sprite-ish looking stuff. Square Enix is going to be putting it out. I don't know that that's going to... I don't think that's going to be the final name for it. They've said it's the Octopath Traveler Project, which is crazy because there's a demo out for it already. So it's crazy you would put a demo out and not have the name finalized. But hey, what do I know?
Octopath. If this game does not allow you to play as an octopus,
It
I'm really
doesn't.
pissed.
It's
No,
not.
there are
What? Well, then call it 8-path.
there's
Fucking
8
homos.
paths.
Yeah, there's like 8 different
Oh,
characters or
dude.
something you play. It's like traditional JRPG.
My bad.
The trailer did not grab me.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it looks really cool, which would figure because if, an RPG, a Japanese RPG comes out, chances are that I'm not going to like it and John, you won't be interested. And of course, I find one that I think looks pretty cool and you're like, nah, fuck that. Fuck all that.
Maybe you can change my mind, but that is funny.
For the whole Octopath Traveler thing, the reason they're calling it that is because supposedly there are 8 different characters you can play, and they were really pushing the, your adventure is your choices, kind of the whole Mass Effect Dragon Age thing, even though they've never made good on that. So I don't know if it's going to be kind of a shorter RPG, and they're going to want you to play all 8 storylines, like if there are going to be different experiences in that regard, or if all these characters are going to end up tying together anyway. I don't know. But man, those backgrounds look really cool.
It looked so bland and typical to me.
Alright.
I don't know. I feel like you could find a dozen different games like that, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a nice higher resolution of Final Fantasy VI, and I'm just seeing Final Fantasy VI when I look at it. But...
Cool backgrounds is one of the bullet points on the box.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? It is 3D Dot Heroes. Did you guys ever play that?
Played a little.
Do you remember the game that was just the 7-Up dot? It came out on the SNES. Do you
Yes,
remember that?
it was called... Oh, God, what is it called?
I think it was called
Cool
Dots
Spot?
Up.
Was it
Yeah,
called
Cool
Cool
Spot.
Spot?
It was called Cool Spot, yeah.
For the
I remember-
Genesis.
I remember that being a surprisingly decent game.
It
I'm sure.
was.
A fun little platformer, yeah. So there's a lot to be pulled out of dots, right? There's a lot of juice there.
But 3D Dot Heroes was basically kind of a Zelda clone, but it had this really cool. The models were all 3D, but they were all made out of pixels. But I guess you'd call them voxels because they're cubes instead of squares. Is that how that works?
I don't
At
know.
any rate, it was very cool, and the art style was what made me play through that game as much as I did. And I don't have an explanation for why, but I'm getting that same feel on like the villages and mountains and stuff that you're going through. I don't know. It looks cool to me. I'd like to check it out. So there's that. The other piece of news is the second most popular Fallout 4 mod on PC is a mod that does nothing but delete the ad, the big giant fuck me ad in the top right corner of the start screen that advertises the Creation Club, which is all, they're coming up with all these things. Well, it's not paid mods because, mods are something someone makes on their own and then gives out, these are jobs that we're giving people. And,
But
we're paying
unpaid
developers.
jobs.
No, they're paid.
They get money? Okay.
Yeah, they're paying developers to make these things. But, like, I don't know why you wouldn't just pirate all the shit they're making. Partly to protest this bullshit, and also, I don't think either of you guys have played Fallout recently, but if you go to that store, there's like 12 things. They're all silly expensive, not great. The one joke that they make is horse armor, and it's armor that is made out of giddy up buttercups. So, I mean, that's a funny joke, but the reason that joke exists is because of their DLC fuckery. Like, that joke wouldn't exist if they hadn't done stupid shit, so there they go again. So I think that's awesome, that there's a mod to get rid of their stupid, shitty mods. Yeah, it's great.
That is pretty good. That's all right.
So that's all our new stuff. We're moving on to stuff that we actually did. I have finally beat Mass Effect Andromeda.
I can't believe it, man.
Neither can I. It was real bad.
It was like a slog, a chore.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I would have been happier if I was actually being shot at. It at least would have been rewarding.
Well, you live in Chicago. You could make that happen.
Yeah, right? But I don't have any jetpacks, so, like, I'm not going to be dodging anything. I'm just going to get fucked up. I'm mostly going to talk about the end here, because, really, once you've played the first couple planets, there's really not... It's sort of rinse and repeat, just with a different... It's like they're palette swapped.
Well, the Mass Effect levels from 2 and 3 were sort of... I mean, they were all kind of the same.
But you know what? The biggest thing that I missed about that series that makes me miss those original ones is sort of the crux of this thing that they can't fix. So what I really liked about Mass Effect, the first trilogy, is that this universe felt so lived in. You'd show up to this asteroid that like used to be a prison or whatever, but it's like, a hive of scum and villainy, and then you have the Citadel that's been here for forever, and you have all these places with ancient ruins, but like also stuff like you go to the moon and you find the lander. Like all that stuff, like there's a history here. And all that shit can't exist in Mass Effect Andromeda except for, the whatever, not called Reavers, whatever this primordial race is and these machines and the Angara. Like it can exist for them, but I don't feel any attachment to any of that stuff. And everyone else is just starting out. So it doesn't feel like there's any sense of history anywhere, even when they're trying to make the Angara feel that way.
Yeah.
And
They sort of.
can't
I mean, they did it to themselves a little bit, right, with the whole story premise.
Exactly. You can't have it both ways, and they probably thought it was going to be this cool New Hope thing, and not like Star Wars New Hope, just this new, Brave New World type thing, and it just didn't work. The end boss is basically this scary alien guy merges with the machines, and he gets some big giant tentacles, and you have to run around hitting 3 nodes while this tentacle sometimes shoots at you, and then the enemies you've been fighting all along spawn like maybe 2, 3 at a time until you kill them, and then another one shows up. It was really underwhelming.
BioWare just is not good at boss battles. Like, they kind of prove it over and over and over again, haven't they? I mean...
Well, I thought maybe he'd have a final form or something. Like, there was...
Like, arguably, I would say Dragon Age Inquisition, the dragon battles were pretty cool, but those were kind of tactical, and they also went on too long, and they were very kind of repetitive strategy. So...
Yeah.
Well, at the ending, well, there was that big scary baby head or something in Mass Effect 2, wasn't there? That was pretty freaky.
Yeah, Mass Effect 2 was the big human skeleton reaver thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fucked up. Here the ending is not great. They don't end the story. They want you to be able to keep running around these worlds, and they say that like 3 times before you enter the last level. And it's just like you end up back on the Citadel or the Ark or whatever, and they want you to talk to everybody in your crew, and you have a whole bunch of non-meaningful like 3-line conversations, and you're running around this Ark.
Man, what about?
Yeah. Like, hey, you remember when you helped me fix that robot? That helped us beat this guy. We're going to make a home here. Okay, moving on. Check the box.
Handshake, yeah. Meaningful nod.
Right, and then it cuts to you meet your last person or whatever, your last member of the crew, and it cuts to the last cutscene, which is one of the bad alien guys in space looking at a planet, and he just turns around towards the camera and he's like, "Urgh." like a villain in a Scooby-Doo episode. You know, it's just like, ooh.
Oh, those kids.
I almost had this universe.
You almost turned into Macho Man there. Ooh, those kids. I can't do a Macho Man impersonation.
You need the hat and the glasses.
Ooh, that Dick Ryder.
I forgot you named your guy Dick.
I named him that because you made yours Richard, so yeah.
Yeah.
The magnificent Dick Ryder saved the galaxy. So speaking of people saving stuff, there's a bunch of kids in a movie that were meddling as well.
Oh yeah.
Against a clown.
I saw
You
it.
saw it.
You saw it too,
Yeah.
didn't you, Randy?
I did. Thursday night.
Yeah. I liked it.
It was very
Moving
good. Yeah.
What did you think, Randy?
It was really good. I was concerned that it was going to be overly focused on jump scares, and there were some, but it wasn't too bad. I'm not a big jump scare guy.
It was like 2-3 tops.
There's
a couple more
the
than
one
that.
the one after the projector, or at the very end of the projector scene. That's the one that got me.
That fucked me up. That was
Oh,
a
man.
real fucked up scene in that garage.
Yeah, that was real good.
I mean,
None of the others really got me that bad.
That was a neat scene. I just hate it when the soundtrack's doing the jump scare. Like, nothing else is doing the jump scare. It's just the soundtrack wants you to do it.
That one, the visual.
The visual that's
would
probably one
argue
of the
that's-
only scenes that made me want to regret not seeing that in IMAX.
Dude, I hate going to see 3D movies, but that scene alone might make it worth it.
Yeah.
That would be scary as crap.
So the guy playing
This one doesn't have a 3D release, does it?
I don't know.
Not to my knowledge.
But the guy playing
That's fine.
The guy playing Pennywise is the guy who played the vampire in Hemlock Grove. I don't know if you guys ever watched that.
Something Skarsgård. He's been in a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
that I haven't watched, but people seem to like him in the stuff he's been in.
He's brother to the True Blood guy.
He's one of the Skarsgårds.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
there's
the
like
son of Stellan.
I mean, they're the modern day version of the bald ones. You know, there's like 20 of them.
Yeah.
They're in fucking everything. But he seems to be the horror movie monster guy. So
Well, have you? I mean, even I've watched some of the his press tour stuff, doing interviews on Fallon and all this, and he's just got a creepy face in general.
yeah,
He just has a creepy face.
that whole family's a little weird looking. Like they all like have this same kind of indentation thing right here. Like even the dad, who's the lovable naked guy in Thor: Dark World. Like
Yeah.
get him silent and looking the camera, put on some black and white, and he'll look
He's
fucking
he's
creepy.
also the not so lovable main bad guy in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's like the main villain at the end. Spoilers.
Spoilers for a 20-year-old book series that was made into a movie
Yeah,
8 years ago, and then
exactly.
finally made it here 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. What else can we say about it? The kids. The cast was amazing.
It was okay. So aside from I'm just going to get this out there. There's an uncomfortable amount of adolescent semi-nudity. Like, there's just a little too much of it. But anyway, moving on.
Yes.
So, yeah, all the kids were great.
It's lifted from the book. There's stuff they didn't lift from the book.
We've gone over that several times.
So,
I
don't know.
The kid who played Eddie, the one with was it Eddie that has the inhalers and all that?
Yeah,
Hey,
Eddie's
Kaepernick.
the hypochondriac kid. Yeah,
He was
it's not Kaepernick.
like it was.
It's not
No, it's
Kaepernick?
Kasparic.
Yeah, Kasparic. or something.
Kasparic.
Yeah.
Kaepernick is a different guy that you've probably heard of lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie, the kid who played him, it almost looked like you were watching an adult, like a very small adult, make all these faces. It was uncanny watching him just make these expressions that you never wouldn't expect on a kid's face. They were all so good.
Yeah. He was probably the standout, but they all held their own.
Yeah, it was. I think folks who never read the book are going to have a better time with this thing, especially as a standalone movie before in between now and the second one coming out. I looked it up. You know, they skipped a lot of stuff from the book,
Oh, of
and they
course.
had to. I looked it up a couple days after I saw it, and the paperback that's out now on Amazon is like 1,186 pages. It's like,
Yep.
you can't. Go ahead.
I started reading the book. I'm 200 pages in, and I think I just finished the intro. Like,
Like Georgie put his galoshes on. All right, I'm done for tonight.
like
At
literally
page
the
201.
first 200 fucking pages are them hype manning it, just like each individual kid hype manning it, and then guess what? We're old and miserable now, but we have to go back. And this one guy committed suicide because he didn't want to go back that much. I mean,
He didn't want to go back so bad that he offed himself.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm still. I didn't love the design for Pennywise. It was very creepy, but I didn't love it. It seemed like they were just leaning too much into creepy clown and not wacky
Right.
in the sense like God, I always forget his name.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Thank you. Tim Curry went from not very scary to all of a sudden very scary. And this guy just starts at 8 and goes to 10, and I was worried about that.
Right, because
I think it ends up working.
the whole thing is it does work. That was my initial criticism looking at the trailers. Is Pennywise is one of the forms it can take, right? I think we all know that. But it's
Who doesn't fail in that in third grade?
it's a lure, right? He's drawing. It's a lure, at least for Georgie. It's a lure. I don't know about the rest of the kids.
Like, find me a 7-year-old who sees him in the sewer and is like, "Oh, you got my bow?" No, that
yeah,
kid is running
popcorn?
for the fucking hills.
Yeah, and maybe that's one of its powers, but
But he did they did a lot of unnatural movement. They did some CGI to make him move unnaturally.
they did apparently because his eyes. He'll go wall-eyed a lot. Like
They do that. I think they
apparently
hit
the
that.
guy can actually do it.
Well, probably not to the extent they
Which-
had him doing
Right.
it.
I'm dubious about that because I think that's physically impossible. At best, he's got a lazy eye that he can relax.
Right, he's probably got an eye he can relax, and that's why his eyes don't always point the same direction just normally, which is so unnerving because you can't ever tell if you're really seeing it or if they're straight or if it's just the angle. It's very unnerving.
There's one bit where it's it's that first scene where he's in the gutter, and like I like the idea that because it has to take this form, right? And I like the idea that it being this weird, crazy entity isn't the best at mimicking humans, even though he can, and so
like
he kind of
like the
loses
bug
focus a
from,
little bit, like. Yeah, like the
The
bug,
bug
from
from
Men in Black.
Men in Black, there you go.
And he's drooling, like, he kind of strokes out for a second, and he starts drooling, and his eyes go wonky, and then, like, when he gets the sense that Georgie is about to leave, he kind of snaps back and tries to, like, bring him back. I thought that was cool.
I do think they leaned on that eyes thing probably one too many times because they used that to try and scare you like 4 times. And I think 2
I think it works.
probably all you get on it.
So
It stays creepy, even if it doesn't scare you. It's unnerving, right? It's to build.
something in the film that I thought was really weird is they had these moments of directorial style, like splashes that were really, like, it kind of killed the pace and vibe of the movie, but I still kind of liked them anyway. Like, it was kind of the rock fight at the river, for instance. They had this weird, like, dude, they do this splash of color type thing, and then they do like a song or something, and it's...
Yeah, they're playing like Anthrax or something over it.
Yeah, like, it's a cool moment, but it is so out of tone with the rest of the movie. It's like, it's
I noticed
jarring.
that too. It is kind of out of tone.
And they have, like, I think 2, maybe 3 moments like that. And
that's in the novel. That's a formative moment for them as a group.
Yep.
So it's you have to have it in there.
And it was a formative movement in the movie too. I just in more saying, like, the way they directed that scene was, it was cool, but it kind of hurt. I think some of the pacing to it to a degree.
So you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I have something that may help you understand why they might have done it. And you'll get to it when you get through the book. You've probably already seen some of it. Stephen King, we know, loves... I guess music must have been a real big part of his life growing up, because he puts lyrics from songs in every book. Either the kids are singing it, or there's that one character who just loves Chubby Checker or whatever. So music plays a large part. Like 50s music plays a large part in the original novel.
Right.
So when they updated it to the 80s, music still had to play a big part, so that might be why they put so much emphasis on that.
Yeah, like one of the bullies is wearing an Anthrax shirt, I think it was Anthrax.
Mm-hmm.
And then the running gag is that, who is it?
The New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm done with 80s nostalgia now. I'm done with 80s nostalgia. Ben.
That's it.
They got away with it with Stranger Things. We're doing it with it. Like, okay, that's enough. We've had our nostalgia moment.
Yeah, part 2 will be set in present day.
So I got a question for you guys. So the book, obviously, they're kids in the 50s. How do you guys feel about them moving it to the 90s?
It doesn't make sense.
They moved it to 89, I think they said.
It's 89, and then it's going to be... It's 27 every 27 years, so
it'll be 2016, I guess, technically.
Okay, or something, or 90, 91. New Kids on the Block were 90s, so I guess it's just around there. I'm fine with it, because in a lot of cases, that town sort of looks 50s-ish. And I think it was kind of jarring whenever they actually had one of those, here's a late 80s reference, wah! I found it really jarring.
I didn't think they beat you over the head with it too bad.
How do you feel that the sequel is going to do, since all the adults will have cell phones? Like, is that going to change any significant beats in the story, do you think?
Well, they're not going to have any service, because they're going to be down in the tunnels, so there's that. I don't know. It's probably not going to show up on a camera unless it wants to, or they're going to have some throwaway line how he only shows up on actual film and not digital cameras or something.
Or a storm is going to knock the towers out.
Yeah. And if they call the cops, nobody's going to believe them or something. It's a little...
Because that's the thing, is none of the adults in Derry are
right. They all
anyway.
pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know how Chapter 2 is going to be. My initial thought was that this movie mostly got by in its actors, and they've kind of told the whole story when they were kids.
Well, that was the idea.
Right, that was the whole story. So in the second one, I don't know, I always felt like most of that book was about the kids, and the best pieces of that book were about the kids, and now they're gonna have to do flashbacks, but I feel like they've hit all the beats already that you would flash back to. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about how the next one's gonna be.
Is it? Yeah. How is it gonna be as scary if it's adults and we're just seeing Pennywise again?
Right. Well, he's got that different form.
Sure.
That wacky shit. I will say this, and then we can kind of move on if you guys are ready. I never understood in the book what "we all float down here" was supposed to mean. Here it actually means a thing, and actually finally makes sense, which I think was a good change.
I think you were supposed to assume that they live down in the sewers, or there's tons of water, and they're all just corpses bobbing in the water.
But it was never scary. Like, we all float down here because you're dead and floating around. Like, that's not. I don't get it. Here it made a whole bunch of sense.
Yeah, they're all floating in the.
And then the ending, like, I'm not going to say how it ends, except for the fact that, you know that they don't all die because there's going to be a sequel. But the way that they resolve it, it makes it look like they saved all these people that Pennywise has got to over the years.
At best, they found the bodies.
Okay, because I'm thinking, well, like, Georgie gets his arm bit off in, like, the first 5 minutes of the movie, so... Mm-hmm. Is he just he's gonna wake back up and then bleed right out? It's gonna be like, oh fuck!
No. All those kids are dead.
Okay.
They might not even actually be there. That could just be another illusion of his, right?
I'm amazed the rating agency let them rip a kid's arm off like that.
This speaks to my level of desensitization, but I didn't find it that shocking. If it had happened to an adult, nobody would think twice. But because it's a kid, it's.
You typically aren't supposed to do much shit to kids, like, or they'll fucking rate your movie so that it can't be shown in theaters, kind of stuff.
Are they gonna rate it NC-17?
I don't know.
Yep.
Or they could just refuse to rate it.
Yeah,
I think they can do that, right?
Yep.
There's way more violent movies out there, like way more violent.
Look,
movies
I'm
out
not
there.
saying you're not talking about a logical entity here, like.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Fair enough.
Like there's and maybe there's some. Maybe it all falls apart when you try and figure out a logical structure to censorship on art. But yeah, I mean they have no consistency on what's allowed and when and whatnot. But anyway.
Oh, sorry. There is one last thing I wanted to bring up. They do a really great job of making it feel like these kids are on their own. None of their parents will help them. Some of their parents are actually, actively trying to hurt them in one way or another, and it really makes you feel, holy shit, these kids. Because the last time I read this, I was not about that age. I was a couple years older, but it just felt like, okay, we're gonna go fight this thing, and like these kids are fucking kid-ass kids, and they're on their own fighting this super scary monster, and it's like
they're played a little older in the movie. I think they're referenced at being 13, 14 maybe.
Sure, but they don't look, aside from Bev, because girls always, age or mature sooner. None of them look that
in the
old.
book, they're actually like 10 or 11.
Yeah. And I haven't felt that kind of dread for a character in a very long time. I think they did a great job with that.
Yeah.
So, I did not loathe it.
Well, let me take you west of that. I've been playing a game called West of Loathing. My wife bought it for me. I talked about it on Picking Up the Pixels last.
What sort of game is this? A tabletop, a video game, or what?
This is a video game. This is a video game you can purchase on Steam. It is basically an RPG point-and-click adventure. It's more point-and-click than RPG, but the battling gets a lot harder when you get to the second area. The whole... Like, there's a lot of artistic conceit and such to the world, but the main thing is you're playing these goofy, like, Wild West stick figures. And this version of the Wild West, your currency is meat, and I mean literal meat. You will go to the mines and harvest meat veins.
The meat mines?
Meat veins, I get it.
The most detested, like, they're basically the most two detested beings in the world that kill the most people are cows and clowns. And the cows and clowns hate each other too, and they're both from alternate dimensions. But you will...
I'm not hearing anything out of the ordinary so far. How is this a unique game? How are they separating themselves? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. You will, every saloon you walk into, and occasionally basically, there's a spittoon everywhere, and the narrator will, like, you'll click on the spittoon, the narrator will be like, it's a spittoon. And then you'll get the option to look closer, and then the narrator will get pissed and disgusted with you. Like, the more you look at it, and then you'll stick your hand in it, and you always get something out of the spittoons, and occasionally it's a bedpan, and it's always really gross. It's always a real funny bit of dialogue. The other thing is there's a necromancer loose on the land, and one of the things I spoiled this on. I'm trying to limit what I spoil about this game, so I'm only gonna kind of spoil similar stuff. So the necromancer, like some of his lackeys are like, we want to make an undead army to take care of everyone. So they start raising an undead army at this fort, and then they lose control of it because they raised several army commanders, and the army commanders took issue with taking orders from people who weren't in the military. And so now you just have this fort of skeletons and shit sitting around training and whatnot. Like it is so fucking ridiculous. Like the whole basis of the game is that you want to go west to make a name for yourself, kind of thing. You know,
Go west, young man.
yeah.
Does this quote unquote take place in like the Wild West days?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's absolutely ridiculous. You will unlock, like Giant Bomb did a quick look on it, and they were talking about how they had this this stupid walk option in their options menu. You get,
Yeah, that's funny.
so the thing is, in that video they said, and I love Giant Bomb, they got this wrong. They said that the game just starts out with that. It does not. There is a book that you can read in the starting area that gives you the perk Stupid Walking, and it just makes you walk different every time you walk in a really dumb way. And
Like walking on your hands or somersaulting or
Yeah.
just weird looking stuff.
doing a crab walk, and like there's tons of shit like that in this game. I found one that was like, what was it called? It was like looking back mode or something like that. And all it does is it changes the color of the screen to like this old brownish color.
To sepia.
Yeah, sepia tone.
It's and they have tons of weird little shit like that in the game. Like you will get one of my other funny, like the really, God, they have so many good jokes in this game. So one of the jokes is you run into a guy who starts talking to you about mining, and you have the option to start lying about mining and making shit up. You very often have the option to start making shit up like that in the game. But so I did it, and at the end of that conversation, it gave me the skill mind-splaining, which is it's pretty good, right?
So are you buying an actual game here, or are you buying a set of jokes with ways to move around them?
Ways to tell them, yeah.
Well, the combat is it's mostly ways to move around them, but they're like you get a lot of inventory shit. The combat is fairly standard turn-based. You go, enemy goes, you go, but then you have certain class-based abilities that you can use without ending your turn. As you level up, you get more AP points, and you can use AP points to do special
Wait, are they
moves.
called AP points?
Yeah.
Or is it just AP?
I mean, I see your point.
Does the first P stand for something besides points, or is it action points in the game, and that's another joke?
I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I didn't put that together myself, so I don't know. But like you have like equipable inventory and stuff. Like it's not, this isn't going to reach Final Fantasy levels, but this is, it's definitely Quest for Glory levels. You want to get better weaponry, you want to get better spells. Like I kept finding all this necromancer shit, so I kept using that. I have it set to auto-assign my points, so I don't have to deal with that. And the way it auto-assigns points is just whatever you use, it levels up.
Oh, so kind of Skyrim-y type thing.
Yeah, and granted, you could.
It's got a Skyrim job system.
Yeah. Granted, you can turn that off and just start doing it for yourself, and it'll work fine. Another thing they got wrong in that Giant Bomb video is they said dynamite is a one-hit kill thing. That is only true for like the very beginning of the game. And
I feel like that was, implied. That was the impression I got when they said that. But that's good that you clarified.
okay, good. I'm really glad they covered the game. I just, sometimes they just come out swinging and missing every single. But yeah, they're still entertaining doing it, so maybe they aren't missing at all. After all, that's their job, and it's not my job.
I'd rather see people really go for it and maybe not quite get there than
That's true. That's true.
some half-ass
I was
stuff.
really excited to see this game got coverage, and I like Ben. I like their new guy. Like I always have liked Jeff, and those were the two dudes covering it. So, but I really like this game. put way more hours into it than I thought were in the game, and only have like maybe 50% of the map filled, and like all of it's ridiculous. Like every new location has some ridiculous tale. Occasionally you will find something super fucking dark in it, and I want to spoil one of them, but I'm going to refrain from it.
And necromancy's pretty dark, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess cannibalism shows up at some point if meat is a currency. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm betting you probably will at some point.
That is not what I'm referencing.
So, like, do you have a party?
Like, here's the thing: the cannibalist thing. Like, are clowns humans? Like, that's the clarifier I need. So,
is the joke that he tastes funny?
But I don't think they actually made that joke. Now, come to think of it. But anyway, what'd you ask, Randy? I'm sorry.
I asked if you had a party. Like, do you get a party together, or is this a solo adventure?
After you start out at your house, then you go to the first area, which is the town of Boring, I think is what it's called. And there are several characters there where if you complete their quests, they will come with you to the next area, and they seem to be your partner for the rest of the game.
Because, like, if meat is currency, then when you're, like, building a party, that's basically like your savings account.
Right. It's just that's how you move money around instead of having like a credit system like that.
Instead of a
have a gold pouch.
Yeah,
or a wallet.
You
go into
a coin pouch. You have a party.
Again, you go into a cave with a pickaxe to mine meat. So,
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if one of your party members is killed, you don't want to, be like the Indians, right? You don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
What are you implying here?
No.
I'm implying that when your party member dies, that's meat. You could.
Are you saying the Native Americans never wasted any piece of a person?
Whatever they killed. I don't know. they were an efficient and noble people. That's all.
That is a bold assertion, and I'm going to go on record and say that's 100% incorrect.
Okay, fine. This isn't a history podcast. I'm just trying to make the yucks.
You might have convinced me to pick this up, John. What was this, 15?
What's of Loathing? I believe so, yes.
Okay. I've seen it showing up, because you've been playing it. I've seen it like your friends have been playing this shit on Steam. And I looked at it a couple times and almost bit. And I think you might have me convinced.
It's even if you get bored of it halfway through, I think you'll get at least a few entertaining hours out of it.
Well, I got that huge fucking Mass Effect monkey off my back, so that's not ruining my free time anymore. So
it is a lot of reading, but it's entertaining reading, and
Mass Effect wasn't even reading. I was thinking about 2 years from now when you ask me about that game, all I'm going to remember is the load screens.
You're gonna go, ugh.
All I'm going to remember is load screens. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The reading. What about the reading?
There's a lot of it, but it's entertaining, he says.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, that's all I was... Sorry.
So I wanted to brighten things up a little bit. We're not really going to cover the PewDiePie thing. The interesting angle of it to me, obviously super shitty human being. But the interesting angle to me has already been covered by a bunch of folks, as far as what YouTube is sort of where Let's Plays are going on that service and how that whole thing is evolving. But that's not what I was going to talk about. It's sort of tangential to it in that I've been really having a fun time for the last couple months or so playing the Jackbox stuff on Twitch to where someone will stream out and then there'll be a code on the screen and you can join in and play all these games with them. So there's a Trivia Murder Party, which is like a trivia game, as you'd expect. That's pretty fun. There's a couple other that don't really do it for me, like Drawful. But I really, really like Quiplash, which is basically, think of it as, oh my god, Cards Against Humanity, except all blank cards.
Oh god. So
it lets you be a lot more creative, and you also don't have the same answers coming around. Because I love Cards Against Humanity the first 4 or 5 times I played it, and now it's like,
Hold on.
But
Randy, you've played this game.
Quiplash?
This is the game Sam always wants to play on PS4 at every single party he does, the Jack in the Box game.
The Jack in Box is a different channel.
No, he always wants to play You Don't Know Jack.
I know. Quiplash is in the new You Don't Know Jack pack. Like, this is the one, like, Jake, isn't this the one where they ask a question, you make up an answer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no,
Well,
that's fibbage.
Oh, that's
That's
fibbage.
Yeah,
Okay. Which
you're
one?
right. And you're making up like a one-word answer at best.
Okay.
Now, Quiplash, you can. I mean,
Fibbage is
you
fun.
have.
I think
you
it's
have
in the same pack. I know I've played Quiplash.
It is. It is. You have a character limit, but it's not. You can put spaces and stuff. It's really, really fun, and I love playing it on streams because you get, depending on the audience you can be like, all right, these are my motherfuckers. I like this. This is my crowd. And they put, God, who does that? I can't think of the name of that developer now. Jellyvision? Is it still Jellyvision?
I don't know.
Whoever the developer is, they put in some basic levels of modding, as in moderating. So, like, you can require someone to have a Twitch login and use that login when they're on Twitch. Like, you cannot become a participant in this game without logging into Twitch and then using that as your name.
You cannot be anonymous.
Right. So that's sort of the base level that they put in here because,
That
holy
controls
shit,
some of it.
there are so many trolls trying to ruin that game.
Oh, I bet.
And it's all super racist stuff. And the problem is, once someone gets in a game, you can't boot them from the game.
What?
It's another 17 minutes of this stuff waiting for them to, just get through the thing so you can boot them. So every time you get that, you'll get your questions, you come up with some real good answers that you think are really funny, and then the first question comes up and you see the two answers that you need to vote for, and one's super racist, and it's like, all right, fuck, start it over. And even doing Twitch logins, these guys are trolls. They do this shit for fun.
They
They've
don't
got
care.
14 names that they switch to the next one and get in real quick. And there's ways around it. Like you would have to set up a separate window in OBS with like a black rectangle or something like that to go over the code until the room's full and you start the game. And it's so much work for a streamer that I can see why not a lot of people are doing it. You're down to maybe 4 or 5 games on a Friday night usually. And by the time I get to most of them, they're on to some other game and just haven't updated the room title. And it's just such a bummer because that game, when it works, that might, I don't know if it came out this year, but if it did, it's in my FOTY list. Like, that's how much I'm having fun with this. And having to jump through so many fucking hoops because people are shitheads really bums me out.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I just wanted to end the evening, on an up note, really send you away feeling good with your escapism podcast.
I mean, that game does seem like it just invites that sort of
You don't
crap.
know racism.
Well, it's just they're all blank cards. So, well, I know a super racist noun and a super racist plural noun, and I'm gonna put those into every single answer. Mother.
Great.
Ugh.
Oh well.
There's your show.
No,
All
no.
right, cool.
So,
So it's like you're playing the comments section.
It's like playing. Yeah, it's almost like playing Twitch chat.
All right.
but not like our Twitch chat, who is not
No,
saying
no,
anything
our-
racist tonight.
No.
John's not being facetious. For those of you not watching, he's saying they really have been good. Thank you guys.
No, it's
They've
been
been active. I like it.
We'd be booting anybody who came in here said stuff like that.
That's true. But yeah, no, we've had a good crowd tonight. So if you ever want to join us live, we stream every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time.
That's not true. We don't stream every
other
Thursday.
Thursday. So our next cast will be in 2 weeks. The 28th.
Yes.
Be sure and rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter. Join the Facebook. We have a Discord now.
Send us questions.
Yeah, send us questions. We have a question channel on Discord. If you ask us a question on the Facebook, I will attempt to remember to keep it on here. Email us at carouselpodcast@gmail.com. I think that's all. Oh yeah, buy my music at MusiM.bandcamp.com. If you like the music for the show, I did it. And you guys can't be found anywhere anymore, right? Am I right? Am I wrong? You can.
Yeah, I'm scrubbed from the internet. I'm nowhere.
Oh,
Are you really?
No, that's not true at all.
I was
No,
going to say,
you can
welcome.
No, you can find me on Twitter at OSU Cobra, and my PSN name is Gifts of Men.
I'm starting up. I'm gonna start one up. I'm gonna start up a new Twitter and try and get more followers than Randy with OSU no bra. So
It won't be
people
hard.
think
I thought
people think I'm a
probably-
hot college chick.
I'm rocking like 20 followers. You can probably get there.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next turn.
Yep.
Hey guys.
Okay, titles.
Yeah. Let me pull that up.
I feel like we got a pretty clear crowd favorite, and it's probably my favorite too.
Okay, first one, Asaroth. Am I right? Then we got why do people got to try to sex up their animals? It's a bit wordy.
Funny, but too wordy.
Generous meat veins.
Mm.
Action points.
Mm.
Are clowns humans?
That's pretty good.
And the Skyrim job system? Oh, Skyrim
The
job.
Skyrim
gotcha.
job system.
Yep, it's a sex pun.
Yep. Oh, we got some from Bakemono. Bakemono's been keeping him on his own here. Astaroth, am I right? Cups and balls. The sexing up animals. I did not loathe it. It's not bad. The Skyrim job system. And the Jack in Box is a different channel. I don't know. Some of those are pretty good. Does any of those beat Astaroth? Am I right?
I kind of like I did not loathe it. Like,
That's pretty good.
it's a pretty good title.
Yeah,
I was
like that's a generous review.
I kind of liked our clowns humans too, but
That's a good one too.
That's definitely an honorable mention.
Our clown's human.
I'd
All
be
right.
good with any of those. So
I think I did not loathe it. Is pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
All right,
it's a
cool.
good title. So okay,
it's settled.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
bye.
Yep. Bye.